We're going to go through some basics of slope and intercept, y-intercept, to make sure you understand how to graph a line on a graph given simply just a point and the slope. First of all, how do you translate the information y-intercept? What does it mean? A y-intercept is a point. It's a point on a graph. And you need a point on the graph to start to do anything. So it's also known as B. And if you can find your y-intercept, let's say a y-intercept of 4, you already have a point. And how do you know what point it is given a number? Well, this point here is actually the ordered pair, 0, 4. Why is it 0? Well, the x value of this point is 0 because, by definition, a y-intercept is where the line crosses the y-axis. At the point on the y-axis, there is no 0 coordinate for x. In other words, you haven't moved right or left. You're simply at the place where the line is crossing the y-axis. That's going to make a little more sense on a graph. If I do that here on a graph, I'm just doing a sketch. 1, 2, 3, 4. I can see that this point here, 0, 4, is the place which moves up the y-axis but nowhere on the x-axis. There's no right or left movement. There's only movement up and down. Hence the 0 for x, and the y is equal to 4. That's your y-intercept. So that's your first thing. That's what you need to start your graph is a point. Now, your slope, m, okay, is directions. It's directions, otherwise known as rise over run. It's telling you where to go once you have your point. So m, we call it m, or slope, if it's equal to, say, 5, must be written as a fraction. And that fraction, as you all know, is 5 over 1. The reason it has to be written as a fraction is because you need to know which way to go up and down, and you need to go right or left, and you need to know which way to go. In this case, the fraction tells you that the top part is rise, and the bottom part is run. Rise is just metaphoric. You don't always go up, but you do go up or down. So rise is up or down, and run is right or left. Now, what are those directions? Well, very clearly, up is plus, down is minus, right is plus, left is minus. So that's your basics. Those are your very, very, very basics in terms of movement. You've got, first of all, your point, which is an ordered pair. This is your x coordinate and your y coordinate. And then you have your slope in a fraction form, tells you your rise over run, which are a set of movements, up and down, right and left. And the sign that you're given is what tells you whether it's right or left or up or down. So now that you've been given a couple examples here, we can actually plot this on a graph. You're given that your y-intercept is 0, 4. We already plotted that, right? That's what this is. Now we take that and we take the next point by using the rise over run to get the next point. It tells us literally that we go up 5, plus 5, okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then over to the right 1. That's our second point on the line, and actually all we really need are 2 points in order to graph a line. So simply rise over run. And remember, in this case it was an actual rise. We did go up, but sometimes you might go down. This is a positive slope. That's a positive slope. And remember what we said about positive slope. Positively sloped lines take off like airplanes leaving from the airport. And negative sloped lines go down and land. All right, that's your basics, your graphing basics. We're going to look at some more examples, and let's see what we get.
Okay, so the question was like, why does it have to be a positive slope if you're saying like the arrow is going, like if the line's going up, like it doesn't really matter which way the line is going because it's going to be down or up either way it looks. So.
Yeah, I mean, the point is that the slope is positive. It doesn't mean that you can't go down. Of course, you can go down. You can go down this line. If I were up here, let's say, and this were like an elevator, I could go down and then left. That'd be -4 and -1. But guess what? -4 divided by -1 is equal to a negative divided by negative is positive. So we have positive slope no matter what we do, whether we go up from here and then over, or down from there and then left. No matter what we do, our movement is going to be in a positive direction. And that's what we mean by positive slope. It doesn't mean we can't go down, because of course we can. But it just means that the way we go, the steepness of the line, the direction we're going is going to be positive as opposed to negative. So that's a great question. All right, so just to really drill this home, I'm just going to give you a few questions that are really simple. First of all, let's say you're given b equals -2 and m equals -3. What do you write? What's the first thing you do?
Y equals mx.
Well, you could do y equals mx plus b. Very good. That's a little ahead of what we're doing. I'm just saying here, given this, the first thing you do is write an ordered pair, 0, -2, and write m equals -3/1. Convert this into an ordered pair, a point, and this into a fraction. That's the basis of being able to graph a line. Because as soon as you do that, guess what happens? As soon as you do that, you can graph the point. That's 0, -2 right here. This is your y-axis. This is your x-axis. That's 0, -2. Okay? And then I can go ahead and change the slope down 3, 1, 2, 3, and right 1. And then again, we have a line just from that. But that's really from knowing that the b that was given to us, y-intercept, is actually, there we go, it actually is a number. Okay? And that the slope, -3/1, is a fraction, meaning rise over run. Okay? And this is down 3, right 1. All right, there it is, down 3, right 1. And simply from that information. So we're going to do some more examples. For example, let's do another one. What's the first thing we write? What's the first thing we do when you're given this information, one form or another? Let's say you're given b equals 5 and m equals -1/2. What do we write? We write b equals 0.5, and we write m equals -1/2. It's the same. It's already a fraction, but what is that? It means this is rise over run, and that means we're going to go down 1, okay, down 1, and right 2. Notice that what happens when you have a negative fraction is that the negative hugs the top, the numerator or the top. So that's why we go down 1, right 2, and we get a graph like this. We get 0.5, which is up here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's our starting point. That's our y-intercept. And then we go down 1, because those are the directions, right 2. We get something like this. And we get, this is a negatively sloped line again. So now, remember when we had that positively sloped line, it looked different. No matter what we do in this line, we're going to be going at a negative slope. So if I were, say, going up and then left, it's going to also be negative, because this is going to be up is positive, left is negative, and we're going to end up with, again, on a negative slope. A plus over a negative is still negative fraction-wise. So there it is. There's a quick and easy way to go from information that you're given in the form of a y-intercept and a slope, converting that into directions. Instead of ordered pairs tells you where to start, and then the directions on the slope tell you up, down, left, or right. And it depends on the numerator and denominator of the fraction. So you've always got to have a fraction for slope. If you don't have one, convert it. That's it.